Hey folks, this is Kalani. We're going to be talking about how to get the most DPS out of your hunter in the highest current content available right now, which is Mythic Dungeons. So you may have noticed we are playing Beast Mastery, we've got both pets out. That's because Beast Mastery's toolkit is designed almost specifically for Mythic Dungeons, as it does very well with a lot of grouped adds, which is pretty much every trash pull in a Mythic Dungeon, and then it's also got very strong single target damage. So we'll be looking at the stat priority, we'll be looking at the rotations both for single target and multi-target, as well as the talents. We'll also go over the artifact and your ideal pathway through that and all that good stuff. So everything together should have you destroying the damage meters. So first things first, what stats do we want as a Beast Mastery hunter? We're looking for agility, obviously, as our primary, then mastery, haste, crit and versatility. So you can see my secondary is a little wonky right now, but I do have a lot of mastery. Mastery takes the cake for Beastmasters as it increases all the damage done by your pets. That does include things like a murder of crows, which is quite interesting and makes that very powerful as well. So speaking of talents, I'll go through these really quickly because it kind of isn't really up for discussion which ones are best. You kind of have one pathway to go for no matter what, almost. So Wave the Cobra is okay on single target, but Diastable is pretty much a go-to here because it destroys on AoE, lets you get those multi-shots off, keeps that beast cleave up as much as possible, and it actually does almost the same as Wave the Cobra on single target anyway. We're going for Stomp for the next one because that's the highest DPS. Post Haste will get you around much better than the other two. Blink Strikes is your go-to for anything with 3+ targets. If you don't have 3+ targets, for example a single target fight on a boss, you're going for Bestial Fury. Binding Shot or Intimidation, depending on what you need. Binding Shot's still a very good go-to, but if you need an on-demand stun without having to move the target for just one target, then Intimidation can be very useful. A Murder of Crows is currently the best one for 1 to 3 targets, or any situation really where you can reset it reliably. That's going to either make you so happy or frustrate you beyond all belief on trash packs because you got 15 seconds to reset it and it can die on the 16th second, meaning you don't get your reset, which is kind of annoying. Barrage is currently better for any groups of adds which remain spread out, which you probably won't see in a Mythic Dungeon. And then if you want to be a little boring, but it's still technically the highest DPS, for any group which is 4+ and they're all grouped together, you want to take Volley. Bear in mind that is going to take your focus with every shot, so just keep that in mind. It's a little annoying to deal with at first. If you're confident with the Murder of Crows, happily take it for anything up to 4 or 5 targets if you can reset it. Stampede is currently the best for AoE, as you might expect, but being on a 3-minute cooldown and it not being all too reliable because it's a straight line, it can be a little difficult on single target. Killer Cobra is actually way and above on single target fights, specifically if there's a second target and it will stand still and you can guarantee it stays in your Stampede, then Stampede does pull ahead. But I usually run Blink Strikes and Stampede. I don't really swap a great deal because, as I said, the amount of time you spend on trash versus the boss and not really wanting to spend a lot of money swapping, it makes sense for me to run a lot of AoE to get through those trash packs as quickly as possible. Now, we're going to talk about rotation. So, we've got our kill command, that is the top of our rotation. We also have Dire Beast, that's going to obviously summon that beast which does the stomp thanks to our talent. That does a lot of damage, that's our second priority, and that's our only way to get focus back. And then we're going to focus dump with Cobra Shot. As for cooldowns, we do have a Murder of Crows from our talents that wants to be used on cooldown, unless you can delay it to guarantee a reset, but don't delay it by probably more than 5 seconds. So if you're unsure, just throw it off anyway. We have Bestial Wrath, which should be used on cooldown as much as possible, but try and pull in a focus so you don't focus cap, but you have as much focus as possible before using it. You also want to make sure that your kill command is either on cooldown or will cooldown within 2 seconds, as you want to guarantee getting 3 kill commands out of a single Bestial Wrath. Then we also have Stampede from our talents, which just throw it off at the start of a fight, throw it off whenever you can use it. It's going to do a lot of damage. Just pray to your tank, or beg your tank, should I say, not to move the adds in those 12 seconds. We also have our Aspect of the Wild. Just use that as often as possible. It's on a 2-minute cooldown. It's not always going to line up with Bestial Wrath, but if you can line it up, that is going to be perfect. So for your opener, you're typically going to want to use your Bestial Wrath, Aspect of the Wild, a Murder of Crows, and Stampede all at the same time. You can use all of those at the same time, and you want to do so, and then send your pair in with a kill command, and then follow up with your basic rotation of Dire Beast, dump focus with your Cobra Shot. Make sure you've got enough focus for Kill Command when it comes off cooldown. Bear in mind your Bestial Wrath will be coming off cooldown quite quickly due to Dire Beast reducing its cooldown by 15 seconds every time it's used, and your Dire Beast can be reset on critical attacks anyway, so just make sure you're throwing those out constantly. If you are using Killer Cobra, then you maintain the same priority, Kill Command, Dire Beast, dump focus with Cobra Shot, then obviously it's going to reset Kill Command and just keep going from there. For multi-targets, your rotation becomes so much simpler. If you've got 4 or more targets, you simply use multi-shot and Dire Beast, and that's pretty much it. Spam your multi-shot, make sure your pets are in the middle somewhere so they're cleaving everything, and keep the damage rolling. Use your Stampede freely on any trash packs as long as you're going to have it up for a boss. For 1 to 3 targets, you want to start weaving your Kill Command back in, so use multi-shot just enough to keep the Beast Cleave buff up, Kill Command on cooldown, and Dire Beast on cooldown. Typically you're not going to have enough focus to focus dump with Cobra Shot as well, so if you're going to focus cap, just throw off another multi-shot. And honestly, that's actually kind of it for your Beast Mastery rotations. There isn't a great deal to it, just make sure you're always having that Kill Command on cooldown. Don't spend all your focus with Cobra Shot, you should only really spend it with Cobra Shot when you're maybe above 90, unless you're in Bestial Wrath, in which case you want to spend as much as possible, but make sure your Kill Commands are always going out on cooldown. Trust me when I say that Kill Command being on cooldown all the time is going to be the difference between you being second or third and you being first. So the only thing really left to look at is the artifacts, so let's look at the path that we'll be taking. We start down here, and then we want to take these traits going up through here until we get to Master of Beasts, then we want to take up here to Surge of the Storm God, and then round to our last golden, which is Titan's Thunder. After that we want to get these two, pick up this one, and then finally Hunter's Advantage. That's usually the way we should be going, and it's going to take quite a lot of artifact power, so hope you're in for the long haul. As for traits, anything to do with Furious Swipes to increase your Beast Cleave is going to be fantastic on Mythic Plus dungeons or Mythic dungeons, and if you really want to take Beast Mastery into raid, you'll be looking for Pack Leader, ideally, for that Kill Command damage. And that's it. Using this information, you should be able to get top DPS on pretty much any Mythic trash fight at the very least, and hopefully squeeze to first on boss fights. So if you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.